Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm Kyle Wood, and today we're going to be learning all about the Blarney Stone, a block of limestone built into a castle in Ireland that supposedly grants the gift of gab to anyone who kisses it. And if you enjoy hearing me gab on about the Blarney Stone and hundreds of other topics, and you want to listen without the ad breaks, check the links in the show notes because those who support me on Patreon can get ad-free access to all my podcasts for less than $1 a week. Now, as always, before we get into the facts, let's warm up our brains with a little challenge to see if you can tell fact from fiction. Consider this. Legend has it the Blarney Stone was originally a piece of the Stone of Scone, a famous rock used in the coronation of Scottish and English monarchs. The story goes that Robert the Bruce gave a piece of the stone to Cormac McCarthy in gratitude for his military support at the Battle of Bannockburn in 1314. What do you think? Is this royal origin story really where the Blarney Stone came from? We'll find out at the end of the episode. Now for your word of the day. Our word for today is Blarney. That's B-L-A-R-N-E-Y. Blarney is smooth, flattering talk that can be deceptive or even nonsensical. While eloquent refers to the ability to speak fluently and persuasively, Blarney carries a connotation of flattery meant to charm someone without necessarily being truthful. In the late 16th century, the word transitioned from a proper noun identifying a location into a common noun describing a method of communication. It all goes back to Queen Elizabeth I and her interactions with Cormac Teige McCarthy, the Lord of Blarney. The Queen demanded that McCarthy surrender his land to the crown and accept it being under English tenure. McCarthy responded with letters full of complex excuses, extreme flattery, and pledges of loyalty, but he never actually agreed to the demands or surrendered the property. After receiving yet another letter full of compliments but no concessions, Queen Elizabeth I supposedly shouted that McCarthy's words were, quote, all Blarney. From then on, the word has been used to describe language that sounds appealing but lacks substance. Time for your daily high five, our top 5 fun facts about the Blarney Stone. Number 1. The earliest written reference to the tradition of kissing the stone is in a dictionary from 1785. The English antiquary Francis Grose published the Classical Dictionary of the Vulgar Tongue in the late 18th century. In the book, Grose included the entry for the word Blarney and described the act of kissing the stone. He documented the local belief that whoever kissed a particular stone in the castle would gain the ability to flatter people convincingly. This dictionary entry gives us concrete evidence that the tradition was well established by the 1780s. Grose's dictionary helped spread the fame of the Blarney Stone beyond the borders of Ireland to a broader audience across the British Isles. Before the dictionary, the legend was mainly just an oral tradition shared among locals in County Cork. This late 18th century exposure sparked the initial wave of tourism that eventually grew into the massive international attraction seen at the castle today. Number 2. Reaching the stone requires visitors to lie on their backs over a sheer drop. The Blarney Stone sits 85 feet above the ground, built directly into the machicolations of the castle's parapet. When the castle was constructed in 1446, builders designed these gaps to allow defenders to protect the base of the tower. The soldiers stood on the roof and dropped rocks, arrows, and occasionally hot liquids through these holes onto enemies attempting to breach the walls below. To kiss the Blarney Stone, you have to lie flat on the stone floor of the roof. An attendant sits next to the visitor and holds their legs, providing some stability and safety, and then the visitors reach back, gripping two iron rails mounted on the wall above their head. While holding onto the rails, you gotta reach your head backwards and down into the gap between the main castle wall and the parapet. And it's a bit of a stretch to make physical contact with the bottom edge of the stone. In the past, visitors were held by their ankles and lowered head first over the outer edge of the battlements. The current method, with the iron handrails and an interior grip, was put in place to balance the need for safety while maintaining the physical challenge of the tradition. Number 3. Over 400,000 people visit Blarney Castle every year to kiss the stone. The castle operates year-round to accommodate the steady stream of visitors from all over the world. They only close on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. During the peak summer tourist season, the line to reach the top of the tower can stretch over 2 hours. The queue winds through the castle grounds, up the narrow spiral stone staircases, and onto the roof. Now, if you're anything like me, you're probably thinking 400,000 people a year kissing the same stone makes it more of a germ factory than a castle. To manage the hygiene, given the high volume of participants, the staff has regular cleaning procedures. Attendants use an antimicrobial spray to clean the surface of the stone throughout the day. This cleaning process became even more frequent and thorough following the global health protocols of 2020. But the combination of the open-air environment, wind exposure at the top of the castle, and antibacterial spray keeps the stone so clean you could put your mouth on it. Number 4. Winston Churchill kissed the Blarney Stone in 1912, and he's not the only famous figure to do so. The future Prime Minister visited Blarney Castle during a trip to Ireland while he was serving as the First Lord of the Admiralty. At that point, Churchill was already known for his political speeches, so not sure he really needed the gift of gab, but he still took on the challenge of kissing the stone. Records from the castle show his signature in the visitor logbook, and photographers documented his visit to the grounds. And Churchill isn't the only notable figure to have made the trek to the top of the castle. American presidents, including Ronald Reagan and Bill Clinton, have visited the site. Actors, authors, and international dignitaries frequently include Blarney Castle on their itineraries when traveling through County Cork. And the site maintains an extensive logbook recording the names and dates of prominent individuals who have participated in the tradition over the last century. And our fifth and final fun fact for today: the Blarney Stone, the castle, and the grounds are a world-famous tourist attraction, but also a family home. Sir Richard Pine, the Lord Chief Justice of Ireland, originally bought the Blarney estate in 1700 following the Williamite Wars. Pine then sold the property to the Hollow Sword Blade Company, which subsequently sold it to Sir James Jeffreys in 1703. The estate eventually passed to the Colthurst family through marriage in the 19th century, and they've managed it ever since. They live in Blarney House, a Scottish baronial-style mansion built on the estate grounds in 1874. The Colthurst family oversees the preservation of the 15th century keep that houses the Blarney Stone. They fund ongoing structural surveys and masonry repairs to keep the tower safe for hundreds of thousands of annual visitors. The family also manages the 60 acres of surrounding gardens, which include an arboretum, a fern garden, and a poison garden featuring toxic plant species. Now for some news you can use. If you want to develop the gift of gab, but you can't travel to Ireland to kiss the Blarney Stone, you can improve your eloquence by practicing the PREP method. That's PREP. It stands for point, reason, example, point. When you answer a question or share an idea, state your main point clearly right from the start, then provide a reason behind your thought, share a specific example to illustrate it, and restate your main point to conclude. This framework provides a simple and predictable structure for the listener to follow while keeping the speaker focused on the core message. It prevents rambling and ensures that supportive details directly connect to the main idea. Public speaking coaches teach this method to executives and politicians to help them speak convincingly and concisely under pressure. Practicing this framework in casual conversations will train your brain to organize information quickly, resulting in smoother and more persuasive communication. For example, if someone asks you why you listen to Fun Facts Daily, you could say, "I listen to educational podcasts every day to learn new things. The episodes are full of interesting information on a variety of topics I would never have thought to investigate. For example, just today I learned that the word Blarney got its meaning from 16th century letters sent to Queen Elizabeth I. And that continuous learning is why I tune in every weekday." Finally, the moment you've been waiting for. At the beginning of the episode, I asked if the Blarney Stone was really a piece of the Scottish Stone of Scone given to Cormac McCarthy in 1314. While it makes for a great story and it's been repeated for ages, you might say this one's a bit of Blarney. It's a fallacy. Researchers from the University of Glasgow definitively disproved this legend in 2014 with microscopic analysis of the structure of the stone. They discovered that the rock has fossilized remains of ancient marine organisms, specifically brachiopods and bryozoans. These fossils indicate that the stone is made of 330 million year old Carboniferous limestone that formed at the bottom of a shallow tropical sea. This geological composition perfectly matches the rock formations found throughout the local region in County Cork, Ireland. The Scottish Stone of Scone is composed of old red sandstone, which has a completely different structure. In the 15th century, when builders were constructing the Blarney Castle, they quarried limestone from the area. So the Blarney Stone is entirely local to Ireland and not a royal gift from the Scottish king. Now, I hope you enjoyed learning a bit about the Blarney Stone with me today, and be sure to tune in every weekday for even more fun facts. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.